WFH with two guys. Now here's Benny and Dennis.
So many times in the entrepreneurial world, Dennis, I hear about people just having to. I'm a hard driver. It's like one of the reasons that I'm so successful. I have to just pour it out there, and I will work day and night to make my business successful. But that really is not a healthy attitude entirely, is it?
No, I mean the key is you need to get your rest and be productive so you can be productive.
Yeah, it's. I think that when we think about this, when we were very young, and my son is now in college, so but I do remember the importance of when he wasn't having his sleep, he was sure a cranky baby. So we're going to have some clarification. We got the expert in sleep here today. Dr. John, thank you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Dennis. It's my pleasure. See, sleep is the superpower of all the powers, right? But when you discover that, you can conquer the world. You're saying people are in this hustle culture. I've heard it all. You can sleep when you die. And I tell people, if you're going on this path, you really are going to die, right? Sleep is simple but dynamic process. A lot of things happen in REM sleep. That's why people die in their sleep. You could have sleep apnea. Famous football players have died, with because of sleep apnea. We hear about our stories. I'm working in the ICU. I've seen a lot of deaths happen in the sleep. So once you discover it, it is possible. But sleep is one function which is so vital, which is contrary to the hustle culture. You have to. It's an art. You have to go through the back door to get it. You can't hustle it, unfortunately, though.
We know the importance of sleep, just kind of as a general rule as we're growing up. But I have always thought of sleep as just kind of giving your body a chance to kind of relax and maybe repair. But what actually goes on when we're sleeping? Why do we need to have sleep?
Why we sleep? Sleep is actually one of those things when the brain is like a supercharged computer. We have to plug it off, and let it recharge. See, that's when we heal.
Mm.
See, all the conflicts that we have within ourselves against our employers and staff, family, we actually resolve in sleep. It's actually spiritual, the art of dreaming. So resolve conflicts, that happens in REM sleep. And also memory consolidation, and also sleep clears out something called the glymphatic system. There is a system within our brain which is, if we don't clean
Mm.
that out, it forms the muck for Alzheimer's dementia. So when you have sleeping, that system is activated and it clears the brain. So you have a nice processor working, well-oiled processor that's working on all cylinders. So it is important for cognition, it's important for memory, it's important for learning, it's also important for healing.
This is so. Thank you for that, because I've never really understood the, if you will, the clinical aspects of what sleep is, and we just know it's important. But when we think about sleep, there are aspects to this where we should look at this more of a preventative mechanism for us, right? We know that we have to sleep, but when your approach in the way that we sleep.
Correct. I take care of children and adults. So when you're talking about adults, there is two problems. Either you sleep too much because of sleep apnea, or you don't sleep. That's called insomnia. So we'll go one at a time. We'll go with a major problem,
Mm.
insomnia. I cannot sleep, or I cannot stay asleep. So when I see somebody like that, first thing I ask, or I have to assess is, do you have a medical problem? Some of the medical problems like breathing problems, COPD, congestive heart failure, or chronic pain, or if you have a thyroid disorder, you don't sleep well. So you have to make sure you don't have that. Next, I have to ask, do they have a psychological problem, anxiety or depression? Because poor sleep worsens anxiety and depression, and anxiety and depression worsens sleep. So once I come to there, then you have clear cut insomnia. I call that primary insomnia. Why are they not able to sleep? So next thing is, are they snoring? It's very common in all of us, especially after men and women. Men around 40 to 45, and women after 50, 55. Women are a little bit protected from sleep apnea because of estrogen, but men, we tend to have more sleep apnea because our larynx is bigger, and you have more snoring. It's like a trumpet, and the voice gets amplified in the larynx. So men do snore more, and we are men are 2 to 3 times more susceptible, and the diagnosis of sleep apnea is important. So that is a very, very important thing. I cannot reiterate enough. Like we had the conversation, treatment of sleep apnea will add at least 10 years to your life. So I have some sleep apnea, I had insomnia, but I have found a way to get over it. Hence, I formed the 7 proven sleep strategies, which I've practiced for like the last 25 years. I've perfected it. I give it to all my patients. I have a significant amount of success. I know it works. So I just wanted to share with everyone.
This is fascinating. I find this to be really an interesting topic that all of us do this. All 100% of us do this, right? But are there mechanisms? We have. You go to the mattress store and you see you go to get this particular, the purple mattress or the Serta, whatever, because it'll help improve your sleep. Get this pillow, it'll improve your sleep. Take this drug because it'll get your sleep. But I think that we might be missing the mark. And you know what? This is one thing. There are no experts really talking about this, and I really think that you're really bringing this to the forefront here. And I really love this. This is a wonderful topic.
Benny, sleep problems, you cannot fix it from outside in. The world is selling us things to wear on ourselves, buy the mattress, buy the pillow. But the problem of sleep problems is within you. You have to work within out. See, the sleep apnea is caused by the tongue falling back. It's an obstruction. There's no way you can fix it by changing outside. When your mind is so anxious and stressed out, there's nothing. You can buy an expensive mattress, but you're going to pay for the bill, and it's going to worsen your sleep. You cannot work it from outside. And sleep problems has to be worked within out. Period. Full stop. You can't do it.
So, Dr. John, let's talk about from a
Yes.
business perspective. I'm assuming that there's a huge number of people that don't sleep well, which then causes all kinds of lack of productivity, errors, confusion throughout the day. Let's talk about kind of that.
Just from the fact of people calling in sick, just if you don't sleep well, you are at risk for infection. Just when you travel, you're not slept well, you come up with a cold. $400 billion with a B was cost the U.S. government in 2017 for people calling in sick. I'm not talking about the errors, the fatalities, and the mistakes we have done because of poor sleep. So there's no measure to that thing. There's only half the traffic at night, but 2/3 of all the accidents happen at nighttime. That's from the NTSB. So there's data. So this is a major impact on our work performance. Imagine the students, the athletes, the professionals. If you just sleep better, I've discovered the art of sleep. I'm raring to go. So I sleep, 7 hours, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. So I focus this, I've discovered this through my own process of struggles with insomnia. And that's why I decided to write this book and share it with the world.
And Dr. John, talk about the story you were talking about athletes and all that stuff, and you were saying the Detroit Lions and how the times they played and stuff. I mean, I think that's interesting because it plays into how people
Yes,
work.
everybody's watching the Niners and the Lions game, and all of a sudden the Lions, they came out swinging. There the first half, the second half they never showed up. Everybody's wondering what is going on. Well, guess what time it was? The second half was played at 10 p.m. their time. Well, the West Coast is like 7 p.m., which is like the prime time. So if their coach MCDC had known this information, I mean, everybody is pondering what happens. See, that your body is kind of like in a sleepy state. For a football player, it's like 0.04 seconds is a change in the body position. You can miss a catch or turn your body this way. So I'm looking at there. That is the reason, guys. You're sleepy. So even Titans. I actually looked into the third quarter. I say that as a third quarter slump. The worst quarter for us, I looked at the last 3 years, is the third quarter. We have a minus 23 points net point differential in the third quarter. Just watch 2 o'clock. Everybody's is sleepy. The stadium is down, and I think for the NFL, if you're trading up and down the players, we also have to play up and down the time. No team should be stuck at 12, the worst time to play.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
trying to.
secret weapon right there. The
The
sleep.
knowledge the West Coast teams play better is already there. It's been there at least 10 years. But the noon games, I probably am the first guy to look at it and say, because I'm a Titan, season ticket holder. I go there every game. There's the same thing. I mean, the crowd is quiet, the players are kind of, and then we play. Just imagine, then we play catch up in the fourth quarter.
Well, this actually, that's a fascinating kind of angle at this, because if I think about this, if I'm a business owner and maybe I'm working on a big deal that I've got to close
Yes,
and I'm off my game, and if I'm not paying attention, if I'm a little sleepy, or if I miss a nuance aspect to what my client is looking for, I could blow a deal because I just wasn't, I was not rested enough and I wasn't attentive. And this is super important. I think this is,
most cultures stop around 2 o'clock. We have a tea time, siesta, called a ripasso in Spain, a
yeah,
siesta. Everybody has, in all the Commonwealth countries, they stop for a tea time because that's the body's lull.
yeah.
But here we push ourselves. But I guarantee you, I've seen it, and we all have seen it. It does not happen well. So that's why we never go to meetings around 2 o'clock. We always go for the 7 a.m. meetings, and the TV times know 7 p.m. is the, we are more bright at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's what they call it, the prime time, because we are the most brightest at that time. So that's why we go for the 7 a.m.
Interesting.
meeting, and it's called 7 p.m. and 2 p.m. we don't do, except our team gets stuck at the 12 noon slot.
Wow. Hey, this is some good stuff here, Dennis.
Yeah,
It's like this.
Well, and I think, and as a manager, I mean, that helps you, plan your day. I mean, if it sounds like if you really want
Yeah.
to get your teams
Yeah.
motivated and productive.
Yeah, you can do a few things to change everything. When do when you eat your food? When do you sleep a little bit early? When are you taking your caffeine? You can use caffeine because it's not it's not a band agent. So we've not even talked about sleep and mental health, sleep and sexual health, sleep and dementia. So there's so much to talk about sleep. But just by improving sleep, we can improve all facets: your mood, your memory, your performance. You can be supercharged by sleeping better.
Well, and I liked your comment earlier about how, a lot of times, as business owners, you've got conflict that's going on, and that sometimes during the sleep time, that's where your brain can kind of process and come up with potentially ideas to help you navigate through during the day you don't think about that, but when you're
Yes,
resting, your brain's resting, but your brain's still going and
yes,
dreaming and helping you think through some of those.
exactly. So some of the great things happen in our sleep. There are some people, entrepreneurs, they like to write things down that happen in your sleep. Even my title of my book and my sleep strategies all came out in the morning, just out of my after a great night's sleep.
This it occurs to me too as well that in terms of just from a productivity standpoint, if we move this over to kind of the physical aspects of it, how is sleep related to physical fitness, physical health? Are they tied together?
Okay, sleep has to be the foundation on which diet, lifestyle, and exercise has to be built, because you won't have the energy to work out if you are if you're not rested. That has to be the foundation. So like I was talking about the condition called sleep apnea. So when you have an apnea, you're stopping, there's no breath. So what does the heart do? The heart has to work extra hard to keep you alive. So that's the flight or fight that happens
Mm,
every single night, and that can trigger an arrhythmia. Same thing with diabetes. You have that norepinephrine release that jacks up your blood sugar levels. So and then we talked a little bit about the lymphatic system. So when there's less oxygen, tissues in our body like our brain does not get enough oxygen, and then we are vulnerable for dementia. That when it affects the front of the brain where your
mm.
memory or your cognition is served, that can narrow that area, and that's a preventable cause of dementia. And of course the same thing happened to our genital organs, and I get a lot of consults with people with low testosterone just because of or low libido, because they're tired to have sex. And of course the same process of less blood supply to the the sexual organs, and there's less testosterone happening just because of sleep disorders.
It occurs to me that if I am running my company, and of course, I want to take care of myself, but if I'm also paying attention to my employees and I'm noticing maybe a decline in their productivity and maybe there's something going on, these are indicators where maybe we should be talking to them and maybe helping them out from
Right.
a sleep perspective. And to your point, if we're adding additional stress into their lives unnecessarily, we're robbing them of really good sleep.
Yes, I'm trying to have this program with the employers to have screening questionnaire or how many hours people are sleeping. They can be candid about it because see, we all have a new best friend in our lives, our cell phones. Guess what? That extra time on the cell phone coming
Mm.
from? It's coming from our sleep. We're compromising on our sleep. Just imagine, Benny, if you don't sleep 1 hour a night, at the end of 1 week, you're not slept 7 hours. That's one whole night. So you're compromising. Everybody's. I can
Yeah.
see a person. They have raccoon eyes. Sleep affects your skin. It affects your body tone. You're irritable. So we are walking with a sleep debt. Everybody's not supercharged. Everybody is
Ah,
subcharged or undercharged. Everybody's walking like a little bit of in a brain fog. Is what I feel.
this is so interesting, Dennis. I have to say, because when I'm a big believer in being able to put a productive company and an efficient organization, being able to do that for myself, my clients, my employees. I want to be able to make sure that I'm doing everything. And this just seems so basic and it just seems so obvious. This is something I think that we don't pay enough attention to, or we're just kind of throwing band-aids on there, like I said, with
And
mattresses
as,
and
and as a business owner, I mean, I think if you focus on it with you and your team, the positive results could be phenomenal because you're going to have much more energized employees. People are going to work more effectively. The crappy moods are going to be gone because I mean, let's be honest, there's people that are just grumpy because they're tired. And so there's there's just all kinds of I love how you say it, Dr. John. It's the foundation of about everything that we do, and it's probably the least thing we talk about as
Yeah,
business
even with
owners.
children, a third of the kids diagnosed with ADHD, they have sleep problems. See, I remember children when
mm,
they are tired, they are not quiet; they become hyper, right? So it affects every facet of our lives. So I think everybody, if you want to have a successful company, we have to talk about sleep. But the good news is we are talking about sleep. Sleep Awareness Week is the March 10th through the 16th. So I hear more people are they're paying attention now. So diet, exercise, and sleep. Sleep is has to be in that equation. We have to talk about sleep because see, like I say, the common question is why are people not paying attention to it? Because sleep problems don't hurt. It's not like a toothache. We're going to take care of it. But since it doesn't hurt, but it grows on you, 10 years of not doing things will slowly erode you. That's we have to be aware of that.
this topic, just for me, I think we could go for hours. I think I could have a conversation with you for hours, Dr. John. But one of the things that I do want to know, what are some effective practices? What are things that we should be doing? Employers, business owners, employees, what should we be doing?
So first thing is to just to have a sleep journal, which I have on my website, and also a sleep assessment. So to assess those problems, I make people they can visualize it, right? So now the common question I'm here. How do I help myself? So I have formed the 7 proven sleep strategies, which I've worked on for 25 years to perfect it, and I have an acronym for it. All the listeners can take it down. It's called Sleep Now. SLEEPNOW, right? The S in the first is it's a schedule. We have to, for every business plan, any plan to succeed, you have to have a plan. So for a sleep plan is the schedule. So do you have to sleep from 10 p.m. to 6 p.m.? So a little caveat here: if you're not falling asleep, if you go to bed at 10, you're not falling asleep till midnight, get closer to the time you fell asleep, like 11:30. Don't struggle from, people go to bed earlier if you're struggling, so you're struggling from 9 to
Hmm.
midnight. So it's called sleep restriction. It works, but make sure you wake up at 6 a.m. So if you do that for a few weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, you will start seeing improvement. The next is the L: low light, low noise, low temperature. Melatonin, our hormone that we produce within ourselves, is only secreted in darkness. The word mela is dark, so it's only secreted in darkness and low temperature. So set your temperature in your bedroom 65 to 70, and of course noise is an hindrance to sleep. So the next next is low, SLE. We'll go to the E. E is no to electronics. electronics are the major problem. So we have, ever since COVID, we have brought the electronics to our bedroom. So when you open the open the phone or your tablet or a computer, the light, without the ambient light, it sends the signal to the brain saying it's still daytime. So and melatonin again is only secreted in darkness. So make sure you don't have your phone close to you. I keep it in my bathroom. I set an alarm, and also don't have it near you. And get off the phone at least 30 minutes prior to give your mind a chance. Okay. Next is E, is exercise. Exercise produces heat and endorphins. Like I mentioned, melatonin is only secreted in colder, so you have the thermogenic properties of exercise. Make sure you exercise at least 4 hours prior to going to sleep. So that's one. So now you're giving a chance for your mind to rest. You're giving a chance your body to rest, and then the P is powering off your mind. So I have made this two techniques my own. What's called vivid imagination. So when you lay in bed, remember, bed is only for sleeping and sex. It's not for snoring or worrying, right? So, so, so so vivid imagination is a technique where instead of taking the reality into your bed, you start thinking about other things. Like you become the creator of your show. You watch the show. Are you a coach? You start planning. So you started thinking in the abstract, not reality. Sleep is you're going in the abstract. And then also I do yoga nidra. Nidra is nothingness. It's like a corpse pose. You just lay on your bed with your arms up and just think about nothing. You can start focusing on your from your say scalp up all the way to the toes. So but remember, you can only do you can power off your mind by giving your its chance. And then no, I've combined, it's called no to worries. We all worry, but I take people to take dedicated time between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. in the evening. Write it down. You're preparing for bed from 8 p.m. To get to bed at 10. So 8 p.m. you're done worrying. You write your notes down. So that's no to worries. And then W is win by losing. I said sleep is one of those things. It's like a smooth golf swing. You can't whack it. So you have to win by losing yourself and keeping it simple. So that's the sleep now schedule: low light, no to electronics, no to exercise 4 hours, powering off your mind, no to worries, and W is win by losing. So that's my acronym. So that's my 7 proven sleep strategies, which has been working great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is fantastic. For those of you who we went through a lot here in these few minutes, and I know that there are going to be a lot of people who have questions, who want to talk to you, or maybe be able to somehow maybe get a message to you somehow. What's the best way for people to be able to get a
So
hold
I
of you?
started this new company for everything online. It's called Sleep Fix Academy, and I've written a book called Nobody's Sleeping, and the 7 proven sleep strategies, coming out in on March 12th. And I'm on all the social media platforms, whether it's Facebook or TikTok. I am the Doctor Sleep Fix, so I go by the Doctor Sleep Fix, so you can find me there. And my office is right here in Brentwood, so you can easily, or you can Google my name, Bijoy John. I've been around for a while. So,
Dr. Bijoy John. Yeah,
yes.
it's Brentwood, Tennessee. So if you happen to be in Middle Tennessee, make an appointment to go see Dr. John, and he'll be able to help you. Dr. Bijoy John, thank you so much for stopping by today. This was super helpful. Very interesting topic. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting questions
Yes.
coming from this.
Yeah, as business owners, professionals, we focus on so many other things, but I think we have missed this thing. Once you focus this, you will be a whole person, and let's sleep well and be well, and let's go sleeping.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, Dennis, that's another podcast in the can. I know that a lot of you all want to know how to get in touch with us. Dennis, what's the best way for folks to be able to get a hold of you?
Yeah, email's by far the best for me. It's Dennis J, so DENNISJ at worksolution.com. And that's WORX solution, no S at the end, so solution.com. Benny, how about you?
Yeah, same thing. Get a hold of me. My email address is benny@velocitytechnology.group. That's BENNY at velocitytechnology.group. Also, for me and Dennis, you can find us on LinkedIn. Look for us on LinkedIn. Our Work From Home with Two Guys is on LinkedIn. And we also have a website, WFH with2guys.com. Look us up. You'll find all the past episodes and some little bits of information that maybe we don't get a chance to talk to on the podcast. We put it out there too as well.
And definitely share us with your friends and people in your network.
Absolutely. Let us know what we can do to make this podcast your podcast. Give us some ideas. And if you'd like to be a guest, let us know. We'll talk to you guys soon.
You've been listening to WFH with Two Guys. We'll see you next time.